Staying safe at school starts at home. So what does that look like? Before you walk out your door, check yourself for COVID-19-like symptoms. Do you have a fever, cough, shortness of breath, muscle pain, sore throat, congestion, loss of sense of smell or taste, vomiting, nausea, or diarrhea? If yes to any of these, as a precaution, we're asking you to stay home. If symptoms persist, call your doctor. Additionally, if you feel fine but were in contact with somebody who has these symptoms or is diagnosed with COVID-19, as a precaution, stay home. If able, get tested for COVID-19. As always, be sure to report any student's absence in Skyward. All right, so you checked yourself and you're headed out the door. Be sure to pack a mask. All students must wear cloth face coverings. Wayzata kids wore their masks over the summer and have some tips about how to properly put one on. Step 1, wash your hands. 2, make sure the top of your mask is over your nose and the bottom is under your chin. Step 3, place the mask over your nose and mouth before you use the ear straps or tie it behind your head. Step 4, move the mask around so it covers your nose, mouth, and chin completely. 5, the tops of some masks can bend. Press your fingers on the top of the mask to make it fit tight around your nose. 6, do not touch the mask while wearing it. Use the mask ear straps or ties if you need to make it fit better. Step 7, use the mask ear straps or ties to take it off. Do not touch the front of the mask. 8, if the mask is disposable, throw it away. Step 9, wash your mask by machine or hand and use it again. Finally, wash your hands. Hand washing is key to COVID-19 prevention. What will the bus look like? If you take the bus to school, you will see fewer friends. Buses will run at 50% capacity. Brothers and sisters, as well as others who are all in the same household, can sit together in the same seat. For everybody else, it's one person per seat. Students must sit facing forward, masks must be worn, and buses will be aired out and sanitized before pickups and after drop-offs. If you get dropped off at school, that will look differently as well. Schools will have social distance protocols and reminders placed throughout the buildings. Look for the printed reminders to help you and to help others. Once inside, you'll have your temperature check.
Please face to the detector frame. Normal temperature.
If you do not have a fever, you will attend school for the day. If you have a fever of 100.4 degrees or higher, you'll have to go home. Some schools will have an isolation room. Others will use the nurse's office where you can wait to be picked up. For middle school students, once they pass the temperature check, they should go directly to their first hour class. What will your classroom look like? At the elementary level, this is how your classroom may look. You will be at least 6 feet from your neighbor. Teachers will keep students in smaller groups and avoid mixing groups. You will stay in one room as much as possible. Teachers will move rooms instead. At the middle and high school, where students move more independently, teachers and signage will help guide physical and social distancing. Classrooms will also accommodate fewer students and more space between them. What will lunch look like? You must wash your hands before you eat. Elementary students will take their masks off and leave them in their classrooms prior to going to lunch and recess while maintaining social distancing. Middle and high school students will remove masks while eating. Meals will be served differently. No self-serve of bulk or items that are not individually wrapped. More individually wrapped and disposable items will be available. New plexiglass barriers will separate students from servers and cashiers. Payments will be touchless. What will seating look like? At early learning school and elementary schools, preschool students will eat in their classrooms. At elementary schools, kindergarten students will also eat in their classrooms. For other grades, desks will replace tables and each student will eat at a desk. Students will remain seated until directed to go to the serving line or trash recycling area. Students will be reminded to keep a safe distance while traveling to and from lunch. At middle schools, 1 or 2 students will be at each table. Students will be asked to remain seated unless directed otherwise. Students will arrive and be dismissed at intervals to avoid grouping in the hallways. And at the high school, specific seats in the cafeteria will identify where students will be able to sit, keeping social distance in mind. What will recess and physical education look like? Both will be held outside as much as possible at our elementary schools with a few adaptations. You must wash your hands before going outside. The number of students on the playground will be limited. Outside play areas will be divided so students can gather in small groups with social distancing. What will movement throughout the school day look like? Preschool and elementary students will generally stay in one classroom for the day, and their teachers will come to them, with the exception of physical education, which will be held outside whenever possible. Middle and high school students will social distance when they move about. Additionally, they will not use their lockers. They'll follow visual reminders, which will help guide physical and social distancing, safe behavior, and traffic flow. Move quickly between classes, avoid hallway chatter, passing times will be shortened to help facilitate all of this. Masks must be worn in the hallways, common areas, and restrooms. Unfortunately, for now, any off-site field trips, in-person family events, or guests to school are canceled while we deal with COVID-19. This video serves as a guidance for our students, and that guidance is subject to change, and we will be sure to update our students and their families when that happens. One last thing. While this serves as a guide, schools may have to adapt their procedures. Thank you, and we hope this video helps to show you what a day will look like at Wayzata Public Schools.